FalubazTV wspiera firma Marvis, producent myjek warsztatowych. Sponsorem filmu jest Centrum Kamienia Franco, spieki kwarcowe i kamienie naturalne.
Nikki, first of all, welcome to Falubaz. Nice to see you in this shirt. First of all, I would like to start with my personal trip in memory, because I remember last time we spoke, it was around 12 years ago. I was a small kid and you were going around our track in Zielona Góra. You were a superstar for me and I approached you to ask you for a signature. I came to the track and you asked me to go from the track, and then you made a signature for me, and it was like special moment. So right now, when you ask me there, then in 12 years I come to your house to talk to you, I wouldn't believe. So, you know, life is full of surprises.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure you're here.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to start with another thing. Like when we came up with the idea that we will come to visit you, we had in mind that we come to Monaco, it will be sunny, etc. But it turned out that you not live in Monaco anymore, and we came to Denmark when it's quite cold. Why did you decide to move to Denmark again?
Well, I always had a plan, you know, sooner or later I wanted to move back to Denmark. I wanted to build my house. I worked hard for over 20 years in my fantastic sport with Speedway, and so I decided, I found the ground here. There was a house. We had to knock down the house first and get the ground ready for building the new house like we have here. And then also, you know, now it's finished, you know, 2 years later it's finished, the house, and I moved in for 8 months ago. The reason also is I live in close to my kids, which is 9 and 5 years old, so I see them a lot often, which is very, very important. I love my sport very much, but it's nice to see the kids when I have time for it.
Yeah, of course. And what's more, when you look out of your window, you've got that view, so I think it's a great place to rest, simply.
Yeah, I enjoy it very much. You know, this is a picture, different pictures every single day. You know, I don't have a lot of arts on the walls here, but you see the
nature art.
Yeah, exactly. You see the different pictures every single day, and I enjoy it very much. I admire this, and I think it's important that I respect, you know, to look out and see what I actually achieved over the years, and I'm happy with that. But also, you know, you got to enjoy yourself, and that's what I do here.
Sure, because it looks so quiet, like you've got your privacy here. So on one hand, you've got your privacy, you can rest, but on the other hand, aren't you bored here? Like, have you got anything to do in your free time?
Well, you can do a lot of running, you know, running through the sea here, you know, it's always something to look at, you know, and it's not all the time it's windy like it is tonight, so a lot of people walking around here, you know, on this street, because it's a nice place to walk. But no, I don't feel bored, you know. I have a lot of things I can do in this house. It's a quite big house. There's a lot of things, you know, and no, I rest here, you know, and I think it's important when you do a lot of traveling over many, many years and over the season, you know, it's nice to have a place you come home and you can rest.
There's an English saying, third time lucky. You know why I mentioned this saying right now?
Well, I don't know if it's luck, you know, but you definitely have to have luck, you know. There's a golf player, he used to say the more he practices, you know, the more lucky he gets. And I think it's the same in Speedway. The harder you work, you know, then you achieve something. I always said, you know, one day when I'm, you know, when I earn a little bit of money, you know, and I deserve to build a house, then I would build a house somewhere in Denmark. And I managed that 20 years later, and here we are. But I have worked very, very hard, and slept a lot of times in the airports and in the cars and vans all over, you know. So the lifestyle I've done, I like it very much, but I don't think a lot of people would love to do that, or it would be easy for people to do that. But
yeah. So actually, that wasn't my intention, that that house is lucky. I meant that because you're coming to Falubaz for the 3rd time.
Yeah, all right, absolutely. I mean, yeah. But again, as I said, you know, things happens in sport and also in life, and I have always respected Falubaz, you know, over the years, and the fans especially, you know, and and the club have respected me, because what I did to them for 12 years ago, you know, was something very good. And every time I come as an away rider, you know, the fans and the club has always respected me, and I like that. And that's one of the reasons I'm here today.
And do you remember that moment when you joined Falubaz for the first time in 2002?
Yeah.
That was different times, right? Completely.
It was very different time. I was very, very young at that time. But still I remember the time. That was those times what created me. And I still remember those times. Without have been through all those things, you know, I would not have been here today.
And how can you compare Nickiego Pedersena from 2002 to Nickiego Pedersena in 2018? As well as a speedway rider, as well as a person?
I think as a speedway rider, you know, the base is still the same. You know, of course, I got a lot of more experience, but I want to be the same person. You know, on the track, I'm a hard rider. You know, and I love to ride my bike. I hate to lose. You know, and always give myself 110% to the clubs and to the fans and to myself. I think that's very important, but of course today I have lots of more experience than I had back then. In private, I'm still the same person. Whether or not you have money or you don't, you know, I don't really care. You know, that's not the most important thing is the health. You know, I've been through a lot of injuries. You know, and the last 2 times was with the broken back. You know, our neck has been tough. But as we all see, if you fight hard enough, then you're back, and I proved that, and I'm just happy to be here today, and as a happy person.
Yeah, I imagine, because that's what you think is very interesting, because on one hand, you're living your dream life because you always wanted to be speedway rider, I guess, but on the other hand, there are injuries. How many times did you think about saying, I'm done, that's enough? Were there any moments like this, or you still had your goal, your aim that you will go through this, I will be stronger, and no thinking about saying goodbye?
Yeah, there's always been like I wanted to get back to my bike as quick as possible. I never ever had in my entire life thinking, oh, that's it. You know, I've been worried sometimes that I couldn't come back on the bike, but as soon as I crash and I lay on the track, you know, you move your arms, you need to move your legs and your head and feel, okay, I'm going to go through this, you know, and so I never had the feeling that, oh, that's it, you know, I got to retire now, and I can't get back on the bike, or I'm nervous now. I haven't had those feelings. I know one day it's going to be when I say, that's it, I've done my job, I've done what I wanted in my sport. But for now, you know, I really admire I can carry on in my racing, and I really respect that, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, you mentioned that you hate losing. Are you able to find a life balance when you have a worse meeting, like you are not satisfied with what you scored at the track? And can you find that balance, that the meeting is over and you clear your head and thinking about something else, or are you still thinking about it for some time?
Well, I think you will all. I'm a business guy also, you know, and as I said, I love my sport and I want to win, and I do my best and get the best out of it. So of course I'm analyzing. If you had a bad meeting or something, you know, you have to analyze. Always sleep on it, and next day analyze what could I have done different, what did we do good, and what could we change for next time. And then after that, I think it's very important that you try to forget it, because you cannot keep on thinking and thinking, because that drives you crazy. So, and I learned that over the years, you know, with the experience. We learn every day, but I'm able to forget about it and move on in life, and then come back with recharged batteries and fresh for the next meeting, because what happened back then or the last meeting you can't change. You can only look forward. Exactly. And do well in the next one.
Yeah. You hear Falubaz, you hear Jonagura. What are your first thoughts? What's your first impression in your mind?
The impression is, first of all, the fans. You always had a great fans, you know. It's they always supported the club, and they're very noisy, and they're always well dressed, you know. And the fans you have is supporting the teams in good ways and in bad ways, you know. They always stand behind the club and the team, and I like that. And also the stadium, you know, is a huge, fantastic stadium, good for the fans and good for the VIP people, and everybody that follow our sport.
Yeah, as we talked at the beginning of our conversation, when you joined Falubazu for the first time, it was completely different situation. And what are your expectations right now, connected with the transfer to Falubazu? What are your expectations?
Well, the expectations is for sure, you know, I want to be on a good team, you know, which also the team spirit with the riders they have signed, you know, I think that we can lift it up to the next level. It's, individually, we good riders on the list, what we have. But then the next step is connecting everybody and get the team spirit so we can lift each other, you know, if something happens or goes wrong. And as I see it, you know, it's very good guys, you know, it's fun guys and it's happy guys and it's very good spirit riders. So I look really forward to, you know, to be part of the team for 2019 and make success together.
After such season you had, it was wonderful for you. I bet you had plenty of offers on the table. So that team spirit that you mentioned was one of the main reasons that you decided to join Falubazu?
It's definitely one of the reasons, because I know the club itself, you know, will work hard for that. They have aims, you know, to have success, and I love to be part of things like that, you know. It's much more fun, you know, to be up there than fighting for, dropping out of the leagues. As you said, I had a wonderful season myself, but in Polish Extra League, it's all about the team, you know, to win. It's not individually. So of course I'm happy with the points I scored, but I'd rather be in a team, you know, I can win together.
In Zielona Góra, we've got really big hunger for success, and after those transfers, as we talked about, the aim is quite simple, to get back to the top. But that's what you said just 1 minute ago. It feels like there's no pressure for you, but it's extra motivation. Is that correct?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I have been all kind of different levels, you know, on pressure in my life, you know, in private and also a lot of time in racing, you know, injuries and stuff. So I love to deal with that. It's part of the kick you get, you know. I don't have problems that people put pressure on me, you know. It's a nice feeling, and I think the rest of the team also, you know, we can lift each other together and have fun and make success.
It sounds pretty difficult to me to say that, but a lot of people after last season said that you were surprised of the season. You are the top rider for many years, but you scored over 2.4 points per hit after tough injury, and people think that that was a little bit surprise after all. And do you think that was? Can you be even better than last season? I would ask.
Well, I don't think I have to be better or even better. I need to keep the same level, whether or not is that's a little bit better or a little bit less, you know. But in the way what I scored, you know, is definitely good for the team. You know, it's if it's better, you know, it's just a little bonus. But if I could do the same, you know, it's I think it's way enough for Falubazu team itself. So it's easy to sit here and say, yeah, of course I can be better. You know, I would not sit here and sign any contract if I felt I was going to go any worse. But I also realistic, and it's sport also. You need to focus all the time. You need to be on the beat. You know, you need to be running what you have to run to get in good condition and stuff like that. So I'm fighting all winter. I have from now 5 months before it's March, where I have to get back to the fitness and get fit again, and can't wait to come back on the track and do my very best. You know, and can't see why not. I should be well prepared, and then let's see, you know, what success we can make from there.
It's a very important thing that I don't think I have to be better, and especially when we compare the potential Unia Tarnów from last season and Falubazu from the next season, because in Unia you were the leader that has to score a lot of points. It was on you, on your shoulders, and in Falubazu it's quite different building of the team.
Yeah.
So is it difficult for a rider to score more points in such good team?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And as you say, it's not all about for me to be better. There could be times, you know, where you need to look after your teammate, you know, and get him past, and then I lose a point, but the team still win and stuff like that. So it's about it's about to make success, and it's about to keep your level. You know, whether or not it's a 1 point less or 1 point more, it's about for the team to win, and that's what I'm, you know, that's what I'm counting. That's what I'm working for. So I can't wait, you know, to get started.
You will be working with Adams Kaminsky, and you had opportunity to work him with Unia Leszna. And how do you perceive him as a person and as a coach? How do you remember your cooperation with him?
Well, what I like with Adams Kaminsky is that he's been riding himself, you know, and it's not that long time ago he's been riding, and he's still riding here and there on the bike. So he understands a lot of things, you know, what's going on the tracks, which I like very much. Also, when I worked with him in Leszna, that was quite new for him. He was pushed into it, and it was hectic. I know we won this and this, but sometimes we nearly got relegated. And next year, you know, it was a roller coaster back then. But we all learned from it, you know. And I think at that time we had an extra rider, a spot where you could take in a rider and take him out, and that was splitting the team a little bit. We didn't work out with the team spirit, and I think they learned from that. So I can't see, you know, why we should have a lot of fun and make success together, the whole team with Adams Kaminsky.
Yeah, I would like to talk about next season. What are your plans in terms of leagues, except Polish Extra League?
Well, I have some plans, you know. Well, first of all, it's important with the Extra League in Poland. That's the mecca for a lot of speed riders. You know, we want to make success and race in the Polish league. Second of all, there's the Swedish league and Danish league, and then let's see if the European Championship. I haven't decided 100% yet what I'm doing, and I think a lot of open meetings and stuff like that can come up now when you're not a Grand Prix rider. A lot of testing. I can come to Sinagora, we can do together and spend time with the team. So I see this as a new ambition in a probably a little bit less stressed way without the Grand Prix, which could be good.
Exactly, you said Grand Prix. So after many years, you're not going to be a part of the Grand Prix next season. Was it a tough month for you?
Well, it's definitely be tough. You know, I had the hand injuries, you know, and it's still not 100% right. I need all winter, you know, to get the recovery, to relax. I kept racing on it. I kept putting ice on it between each races. I broke it 4 places, and as everybody see, I only have 3 fingers on the right hand, so it was tough anyhow at the beginning. It happens, you know, and in Grand Prix it's a lot of smaller tracks, and you need to turn more and hold tight on the bike, and that didn't work out 100%. And to be in a Grand Prix, you need to be 100% to compete up at the top level to have some targets to win something. And it was nice to win the Grand Prix in Molila. That track is a quite big one, so that wasn't an issue for me. But it was tough, and so I look forward now, you know, to not be part of it and concentrate about something another.
Can you imagine yourself sofa and watching Grand Prix on Saturday night on TV?
Well, I have done that because unfortunately I was injured, you know, with the neck the year before. So I have tried it, but without have tried that would have been a funny feeling. But again, you know, that's the way it is. You know, I've been part of it for nearly 18 years. You know, and I've done my bit so far. I never say I'm not gonna come back ever. Never say never. But at the moment now, I take 2019 and focus on my legs and a few other things, and gotta see what happens.
Was it? I guess it was one of most demanding adventures in your life. But at the same time, was it the most beautiful? One of the most beautifuls?
Well, of course, to become world champion, you know, especially in 2003, I was 26 years old. You know, was a huge achievement. You know, it was different. You know, I enjoyed it very much. But I always build up, you know, my level with. If you're not a decent speedway rider in the leagues and consistent, then I can't see how come can you become a speedway rider and be world champion. So I always respected my legs to be good there, and then to bring in the happiness and the success into the Grand Prix and see if you can achieve something. So I enjoy every single race what I'm doing, even if it's Grand Prix or if it's league racing. But I had some special moments in the Grand Prix, that's for sure, especially with Jason Crump over the years, and Thomas Gollop and Tony Ricardson. You know, that was good times.
Exactly. That was my next question. I wanted to ask you about your biggest opponents. How do you remember your fight with Tony Rickerson, Jason Crump, Tomasz Golob? Who was the biggest rival for you over these years? Can you say one person, or it's too difficult?
Well, it's Tony Rickerson was definitely one of the guys I looked up at. He was so professional and did a lot of things, good things for the sport. Of course, you always try to look at it and copy a little bit and see what you can learn from it. I have lots of good races with Jason Crump, you know, and he was one of the first ones sent me a text message when he knew I'm not going to be in the Grand Prix for 2019. He said we had great races together, you know, and he always knew I did my 100% for racing, and he said if he had to beat me, he always had to do 100% or even something more sometimes. So that was a nice text message to get from him.
Patryk Dudek is 26 now, so the same age as you were when you became first world champion. Do you think he's got the potential to become world champion in future? Absolutely.
He's a racer, you know, and he's a tough cookie, you know, to focus on what he has to do, you know, and he don't care what's going around him, you know. It looks like he got a very good team around him, good family support. Definitely, he's a top good rider, you know, and he have lots of potential to become world champion.
One chapter has ended for you, I mean Grand Prix, but some new chapter you opened, that I mean the long track. How did you get to start racing on the long track? What was the idea behind it?
Well, for the last 5 years I said, you know, the day I'm not going to be in the Grand Prix anymore, you know, I want to try the long track, you know. It's I wouldn't say it's next level, but it's going a lot faster than speedway is, with a gearbox and stuff like that, different bike and suspension. So I just tried it, you know, and I enjoyed it very much, you know, and that's something that can be on the side of speedway, you know, which I can enjoy when I got time for it.
And if you could compare, what are the main difference? The speed or the technique has to be different? What are the?
Yeah, it's the technique is a little different, but the speed, you know, it's not a problem for me. I would say I'm speed blind anyhow, you know. It doesn't matter to me how fast you're going. So the straight is not the problem. It's the technique to get into the corners, you know, and sitting correctly on the bike and stuff like that. But I think you pick it up quite quickly, because if you're a good speed rider, then also I think, you know, you can become an okay long track rider also.
Is it more demanding in order from the physical point of view, because it's longer, so you have to be focused for the longer time? Are you more tired after one hit?
Yeah, it's definitely, as you said, you know, it take longer time, you know, and it's a lot of them is 1,000 meters, you know, so it's nearly 4 kilometers you're doing in one race. So yeah, I think you need to be physically a little bit stronger somehow, which is only good for speedway also, you know. So you work the same condition over the winter, so that works good for speedway and also for long track whenever you do that.
You will be a teammate with the world champion from the long track, Martin Smoliński. Do you think it will be some? Will you have some talk with him about the long track? Change experience, ask about something in terms of long track?
Yeah, I mean, we already talked at the PGE gala when I was down there. Said I was looking forward, you know, to get out on the bike and try it, you know. And he already gave me a few small details, you know, and things like that. So he's a very cool guy, you know. He's a very top professional speed rider and also the world champion on the long track. So yeah, he's cool and gives out, you know, small important things, and he's a good person. You can feel he has the heart at the right place.
And we're coming to the end of our interview, but I would like to ask you about one more thing. Next season in Falubazu we will have, including you, 3 riders from Denmark, Nickiego Pedersena and Matt Hansen. Nickiego Pedersena is already well-known speedway rider, so we know his potential, we know his abilities. But I would like to ask you about Matt Hansen. What can you say about this?
Well, rider? I don't know him that well. I mean, of course, I've seen him a lot of times, 2018 on different tracks. We were racing here in Denmark, and he definitely have good potential. You know, he's a good rider. He's an upcoming rider. You know, he wants to ride his bike, and he seems also to have good family support, and he wants to go up step by step and become better and better each year. So I like to work with people, you know, on a team that are very professional and not too laid back. And he seems to he wants to achieve something in Speedway, which is nice to see.
Yeah, as we talked about last couple minutes, you said that you are ready for new challenges. I mean, in sport, etc., of course. But I can imagine, because you said as well that you're a businessman, so I can imagine that you've got a plan for you when the day when you say to the Speedway goodbye will come. Have you got plan for yourself?
Yeah, I always got thoughts, you know, what to do, and I have been sitting on this side on the table for a lot of years with getting sponsorships. It would be nice to sit on the other table working for very good companies and give sponsorships out, you know, and because I know how to deal with the competitors, how much you can get out from them, you know, what you can use them for, and exhibitions and stuff like that, autograph sessions and things like that. Also would be nice to work for that company which take a lot of customers, you know, fly to any league matches or stuff like that to Poland, you know, and give them a good time, you know. And I think it's important nowadays that you look after your customers, which I've done a lot of times in Speedway over the years. So I think I could bring that into business and into their company. Their need to look after their companies, that could, to their customers, that could be nice. And also there are a lot of things I can do, things like you know, helping the sport still. I would still, my heart is still in Speedway, you know, and a lot has always been. So I never think I'm gonna leave the sport, you know. My heart is in the sport, and I love to help if it needed.
Okay, Nicky, thank you very much for having us here. Thank you for the conversation. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And one more time, welcome to Falubaz, and see you on the presentation in Janagora.
Thank you.
Sponsorem filmu jest Centrum Kamienia Franco, spieki kwarcowe i kamienie naturalne. Falubaz TV wspiera firma Marvis, producent myjek warsztatowych.
Thank you.